Alright. We're Grand Order. Gotta love this game. Right now I'm just looking at what items I need to be farming up in the near future. I know we get, I believe, 20-ish feathers from the upcoming Oni Land event. But I definitely need more than that. As you can see, despite the fact that I've been farming feathers all week, I really only have 9. I need 13 for Ku alone. And that's, of course, just for one of his skills. If we want to put Battle Continuation to 10, we're going to need 26. Disengage, of course, 39. So we need a few feathers is what I'm saying. Just Ku alone is going to eat up the entire event stock. And really though, we only really want Protection Arrows at 10. That's our short-term goal. Protection Arrows at 10, giving us 13 feathers. A short requirement of 13 feathers, which isn't too bad, right? 13, we'll just write that down. Who else do we want to focus on? Leonidas is kind of okay. I don't really want to spend a ton of bones on him. But we're not firing bones right now, so we're not going to worry about that. What do you require? Shells? We're a little bit low on shells. I'd like to get Ishtar's first skill up to 10. That will be a goal for later, though. Okay. We can probably level up Georgios later. Right now I'm just doing a quick summary of what we need to get in the immediate future for skills related to feathers. Do you need feathers? Just pages. Pages and fangs seem to be in short supply. Needle's also a pain for a caster Gilgamesh. We'll get there. We'll get him there. It's just gonna take a hot minute. Fangs, I believe. Yeah, we need fangs pretty badly. That's gonna be our next home after we clear out all these feather requirements. I don't think she requires any feathers. Yeah, we're good. We're good on that front. Just bones. Again, I don't really want to spend them because most of our servants who need bones are doing okay without them. I'm not using Kishikata right now, so I'm not actually leveling that skill up. This one we could level up next time. Penth does something for us, she's probably getting this skill to 9 or Golden Beauty to 10 because Penth has been awesome. I don't know if you guys have used her, but she has a fantastic Fire and Forget missile. Coming in absolutely clutch on several occasions. Alright, as I recall, Shield of Rousing Resolution is in fact another 5, putting us to 18. This is just things we're stuck on right now in terms of feathers because I've been farming feathers. I think that's all the skills we directly need from any of our servants. There are a few skills I know that are coming up that require feathers. And we have a bunch more that require fangs like this that we need to get up. Like Shining Path really needs to be 10. I know for a fact that I believe Lancelot's skills require feathers. I'm just going to go to Ascensions because we have a few servants waiting on Ascension, which really sucks. Okay, another 7 feathers, putting us up to 5 feathers. Another 5 feathers, putting us to 40 feathers. Again, we're still just looking at what feathers we need to ascend people. Is this filtered to caster? This is Ascension, or default this. He requires fangs, which is one of the reasons why we're trying not to spend fangs. If we need a single target saver again, I want to bring him, so I can just bring dedicated supports for him. Let's see, I don't think you require fangs, no. Or feathers, that is. We're looking for people who require feathers and are hell annoying. Needles, we're trying to save needles for caster Gilgamesh, that's not happening. Fangs, we already covered the fangs. It's this guy's fangs. And hers, like, you need to at least level your gold servants, right? Alright, so I think that's all we need in terms of feathers right now. As I think Cersei's skill levels need pages right now. Our current goal is to get about 40 feathers. Now, the event's supplying half of them, so we really just need 20 plus a few, plus maybe like 10 extra. It is on AP cost half, but we don't really need XP. I mean, more XP is always good. Don't get me wrong, I usually use it, but right now we're sitting on like stacks of blazes. And then we actually have like the 100-ish from the event still sitting around, as well as a couple hundred from earlier. And there's the ticket event. Oh, that's the master missions from that event. All right. Let's grab the quartz so we actually have a decent tally of how many quartz we have. And we can get Dragon Fangs or Fool's Chain with these. We actually, amusingly, we actually need both, so I'm gonna hold off on that. How many of these do we have? We have 11 right now. That would really help our missing fangs. However, we do need the chains for another couple serpents, which I'll just pop into real quick. As I recall, it's a caster and an archer that need chains. She needs 24 chains. Just casually wants 24 chains on one of her skills. And the reason we're sitting on so many and haven't spent them is because he needs 60 for each skill. So chains, you need a lot of chains. If you ever need chains, you just need like hundreds of them. It's pretty irritating. But right now, we're trying to get the feathers we need because those are really blocking us. Whereas the chains, if we need to do a Nidokris farming node, I can definitely lose the chains and not level Tristan's skills up. So, for now, let's get going. We're going to farm some feathers. And the best place to farm feathers is always the same place. Salem. Town Hall. Courtroom. I hope you love this node, because we're going to do it a lot. We also don't need anyone's help, so we're just taking the Chaldea lunchtime. Andy, CE, doesn't read... he's obviously doesn't care about leveling it, because it's just whatever he got from LLBing it. This is a fantastic CE, just increases the amount of bond you gain by 10%. Never farm one thing at a time, so we'll do some bond farming. We got Ku sitting in the back. And since we aren't planning on fielding either of our last two servants, we equipped him with the anniversary CE. Just to get that little bit extra Mystic Code XP. Not that it's hugely impactful, but, you know, he'll get somewhere. Our other option would be to run... Where's that Gordolf CE? It's a 5-star one, right? Our other option would be this. This is probably a little bit better. 50 was okay, because we were recently farming a lot of low XP nodes that were like below 1,000. As if we do some quick math, you know, I'm just going to open up my calculator and, you know, times 0.05 is 50. So if it's giving less than 1,000, you just run the flat bonuses. Giving more than 1,000, which these are, you run Gordolf. Or if you just need to save on, I believe this is a 5-star, so if you somehow need to save on 3 cost, you can always swap it for something that's less efficient. But for the most part, this is better when you're doing air average farming nodes. Alright, we got a simple team setup right here. We got a Rash clear the first wave with Waver's help and his own 3rd skill. Astolfo's going to come and clear the 2nd wave for us. And then Ishtar, who's NP5, thanks to the fact that she's a welfare, is going to clear the final node for us. Now, we do need some crits for this. We have a pretty good odds of getting all the crits we need. The only problem would be if for some reason we get a lot of waiver cards or some awkward cards of Astolfo. We really want Ishtar because she can do some absolutely insane crits. Even though her crit damage up skills are both at 1, she hits like a train when she crits. If you don't have the ability to do the damage you need to for this node on the 3rd wave, you can always run combat uniform for the damage, as most of your damage is coming in one turn. Like the NP from Ishtar by itself does like 90k and kills one of the last guys. We won't do this yet because we want to keep her crit damage up for later. We're not planning on doing 6 turns or using Waver's cooldown reduction, or like the Mystic Code cooldown reduction. We're just taking the Mystic Code because we want to farm its XP. I'd like to get this Mystic Code to 6 at least. Possibly, I mean 10 is ideal, but 6 is the goal right now. We're like currently level 4, so it's gonna be a while. But while we have the option to, I think it's best to farm for it. All right. We're just gonna do this. If we get a quick chain, we're basically guaranteed to get like 46, 50-ish stars in that area with this team setup. The highest I've seen is like 56 or something like that. Like, you can definitely make it. There we go. What do we get there? 52. That's pretty good. Usually it's around 50. Okay. Now, while Astolfo does have crit damage up innate to himself, we of course are giving Ishtar Waver damage. However, even in testing, Waver damage plus Astolfo's crit up is not as good as both of these crit ups. Both this ability, which gives critical strength, and this ability, which in the pile of things it does, also gives us critical strength. Both of those stacked with Wavers are vastly more effective. And you might be thinking, use arts? No. When you have the option for Ishtar, use quick, as her Noble Phantasm gives her a quick up until end of turn. And it's a fairly sizable one, especially when comboed with her regular quick up from her skill. The skill mostly offsets the damage from the... it goes from 80%... 80% is quick damage, right? And ours is 100%, so you need like a 25% quick up to be better than arts. I believe you get like 20 or 30% just from the NP. And then it's another like, at our current skill, I think it's like 14-15% from the quick up. In fact, I can look that up right now. Wow, we're watching the Ishtar travel scooter. So at 100% overcharge, the Noble Phantasm 7 colors gives 20% quick performance, coupled with our Glittering Aquatic Crown, which gives us 13% right now. That gives us a total of 33%, which is higher than 25%. So our quick cards do more damage than our arts cards, in addition to our own Riding EX, which gives us another 12%. Further offsetting it, so we're leagues ahead of our own arts cards in terms of pure damage. From then, just the first level of the second and third skill, each of them gives 30% crit damage at level 1, which is 60%, which is higher than, I believe, the 50% offered by Astolfo's ability. Even at level 10, his ability isn't that amazing in terms of crit damage. Yeah, his crit damage is only 40%, so just those two abilities are giving 60%, which is 20% higher in terms of crit damage. So we have more quick up, we have higher crit damage. There's like no reason not to pick Ishtar when doing that, even if our physical attack stats are very similar. Like Astolfo is looking at 9k before foes. Just under 9k before foes. That's not too bad. Ishtar is looking at 96. Yeah, she actually has higher base attack. Even more reason to pick her. He has like, not an insignificant, that's like 650 base attack higher. So she actually just hits harder than Astolfo in general. You can weasel some of it into play with, you can weasel a little bit closer with Astolfo's first skill. But you're still going to lose out because Ishtar has Waver's skill on her the third turn. And Waver skill is like a 30% attack buff, so Astolfo can't match that. Right. Nobody giving me that bonus. That bonus. Come on. Oh, here we go. Don't want to miss out on that. It's only a couple seconds, and hey, we're streaming this. Looking for the right support is content, right? I mean, just for fun. Alright. Back to our node. Ishtar. Here we go. As you can see, quick card effectiveness increased. And it increases with overcharge, so you do in fact deal more NP damage. I believe it's 10% per overcharge level. So it's not insane. Like some NPs are like 1030, or like 1530 or 1030 for NP damage. This is pure quick, and it's just 10% after the initial bonus of 20. So with quick NPs doing the most base damage, that's not an insubstantial amount of damage to be gaining. Remember, when farming, you should never have a brave chain if you don't need it, or there's not a way you're benefiting from it. In this case, we're only using one of the cards, so we should never do a brave chain if at all possible. And remember, Rash always shuffles your deck, so don't worry about what cards you drew in the first turn. Okay, so this time we have not as great a case. We got Ishtar's Quick and Arts, which isn't great because, again, we said we want her cards next turn. We definitely do not want them this turn. So we'll do our best to generate some stars for us. What we really wanted was the quick chain. Astolfo has 3 quick cards, Ishtar has 2, Waver has 1, so not the best servants for quicking. Using quick if we didn't need the Waver. Namely, we could just run, what's her face, Scotty. But unfortunately we need his 20% because we don't have max limit for Imaginary Element yet. If we had that, we could use a Summon Scotty, or a Scotty in general in this place, which would give us similar damage output, possibly higher because we'd also have defense down. In addition to a big quick buff, but the important thing for that would be we'd have 2 quick cards, which would give us better odds of 3-turning this. As it is, you can see, without the plus 10, like if we added 8 here, 8 here, 3 here, 2 here, we just don't have as many stars as we wanted. And Ishtar doesn't have amazing crits now. I mean, her crit's still good, but she only has like 1 crit, so we're probably gonna 4-turn this. Since our chances are so low, I'm actually going to give... I mean, I think I still give it to Ishtar because she just has higher crit damage. We're gonna hope for like a best case scenario here. The quick on Astolfo does not offset. Just barely offsets the art downside. He still loses in damage to Ishtar crits. I believe he also has riding. And it should be EX, or A at least, because he has the ability to ride hippogriffs. Because the Ishtar hits like a fucking train. That was like 65k with 1 crit. And that's on her card that's going to be doing less damage. Which I have tested. And we're running this Mystic Code, so even if we somehow drew all Ishtar cards, we wouldn't be in too much trouble. I remember that we do not actually crit as hard with Ishtar on that turn, as we're down 60% crit chance. Or 60% crit damage. And there's a feather number 10. I don't really need the person on my friends list for the Scotty. Scotty is... she's alright. She's alright in my... She would be alright in my card there, but not essential, as I don't have too many servants that desperately want a Scotty. The basic battle music is kind of nice. How many crit stars we have in this turn doesn't really matter. I guess critting this turn would increase our odds of critting next turn, which would give us slightly more stars eventually. But our ability to get 50 stars in the first place doesn't really depend on getting crits with our cards this turn. So I haven't really bothered. Oh yeah, don't forget this quick up. I believe quick up increases our star drop rate. Don't quote me on that, you should look that up yourself. But I believe it increases the chance of dropping a star. Otherwise it would just be the same as damage up, like Buster Up is. Because Arts Up raises the amount of NP you get from your Arts cards. Might be slightly lower. Ishtar is better at generating stars because I think she has better star generation. I have not tested that. We could probably look that up pretty quickly. Astolfo has abysmal star and NP generation though. That's all you need to know. Don't rely on Astolfo for those things. It's not his forte, and he will disappoint you. Couple Ishtar Brave Chains in the end. That's good. Just do like 100k with one crit. Unfortunately, these buffs are only one turn, so her usability for doing anything other than like burst damage goes down really fast. It's good for farming difficult nodes though, like obviously you wouldn't bring it to do boss damage, but if you're fighting an annoying node where there's like a ton of enemies later, I think she's doing pretty good. And like, that was like one crit and her extra. She's at 40%. 40% NP gauge. If she had better NP gain, she would be disgusting. Or if we like staple the Scotty for another 50% quick up. Although at that point she... no, she wouldn't kill that guy. It'd be very close though. I feel like I'm a bit against the clock a little bit. I think playing during events is a lot easier because you can just like throw apples at things and not feel too bad. I don't really want to throw apples at like a feather farm. You get what I mean. I imagine most people playing the game are just on maintenance mode like I am, where you're just spending your AP as it comes along. Rather than blowing it all. Blowing at all their apples. I forgot that gave quick up for a second. The fact that it gives quick up is, or NP gain up is so good. Brings her one step closer to looping because she has the ever so important NP gain up. Like you need NP gain up and then quick up in order to loop properly. And she at least has one component of that. And it's at a decent level. Like Ishtar's first skills, NP generation rate up goes to 20%. Not the highest. You generally want like 40-50%. Like what does Lancelot give us? Lancelot, I like how Lancelot is by default Berserker, and then his his Saber class is special. So Lancelot's reverse flow of mana, yeah, gives him 100%. So it's not like the best skill, but it gives her a decent bit. What does Nero Bride? NP gain on her skill. These are like, okay, NP gain on Nero's skill, we should go to the upgraded version, is 45%. So like Lancelot has like plus 100, which is insanely good. Ishtar only goes up to 20%, which is considerably weaker, but I mean the skill also gives like quick up and buster up. Like you can't really complain too much about that, really. It's still a pretty damn good skill. Why you see people running around with like esports Ishtars where they're just like level 1 Ishtar, 10 in the Shining Water Rub skill because it's so good. Alright. Alright, Ishtar. Alright, there's no real point doing a full quick combo, but we will, just to demonstrate how hard Astolfo hits relatively, give him his 1-turn attack buff. So we're gonna enter to go 7 colors. We'll take a quick note of how much health he is and about how much damage Astolfo hits for with his Art's crit. Well, that hits for like 90. Yeah, that was like 15%, and she does 50%. Now, Astolfo kind of needs the damage up from Waver to compete, but he's still gonna be behind. Alright, we don't actually need we don't actually need to use Ishtar's cards here, I don't believe, so I'm just gonna do this and not care. But if you're ever concerned about that, yeah, don't hesitate to break CC with that. It's not like we're doing anything difficult where we desperately need our Mystic Code. It just helps fix a couple issues we might have on the 3rd turn if we don't draw any Ishtar cards. On the 4th turn if we don't have any Ishtar cards, which could go poorly for us. And there's our Shell Deity done. We should be getting another variant of that shortly, right? One that's out, I believe, next month. Kind of exciting to be getting something like that. No need for a Brave Chain or these quick cards to be used. Really just adds time to the fight, which you don't need to have. I'm thinking I'm getting Nero in the SR they're giving away next month. I was kind of curious if they would not give it away because they gave us the Babylonia super rare early, and we haven't really seen an SR giveaway for Japan, so that was a concern of mine. I haven't really seen anything to follow through on that concern, so I'm not too worried about it, but it would be interesting if that's the way they went. Or they were just like, oh, we gave you one this year already, so you're not getting one? I feel like that would upset people, because I've seen a lot of posts about how we're getting the super rare in November already. So I'm kind of on board of, even if they were like, oops, we might have accidentally given you an extra 4-star that we shouldn't have, I think we're still getting it. I mean, they're just 4 stars, like it's not like they're giving you super important chase. They're general pool 4 stars. It's not like they're chase rares, right? They're not what everyone's frothing at the mouth for, or at least most people. Like even if you're a Nero fan, you're kind of like, Nero bread exists. Why, you know, Ishtar or Nero bread exists, so it's not as necessary to pick up a copy of. Agreed, right? Not as necessary to pick up a copy of Nero when the one you really want is the hard to acquire bread. So now you'll see how much lower our arts crits hit for with Ishtar. They're definitely way lower. It's like night and day. We're hitting like 70-ish with quick crits. So that's 70k. It goes to 27, so we did like 53. It's a massive difference in our 1-turn damage. It does, however, give us a shit ton of NP. Like, if we had NP gain up, like, we don't have it, but if we had NP gain up, or, like, we're not using this Buster card effectiveness at all, so if we gave Ishtar instead the Arths up, we possibly could have made it. We would have been 8% up. We would have been at like 88. Actually, we had a multiplier on of like 1.1, so we still wouldn't have. Yeah, we still would have been about 8%. We would have been at like 89%. If we put her first skill to 10, we might actually have looped there. Like, that's how good it is. Anyway, we actually need Ishtar to wake up here. Or I would like her to wake up. Ew, that's not amazing for us. I don't actually know if this kills because our crit damage is vastly reduced. We are still above Astolfo, so I'm going to put Ishtar in last position. And Astolfo cleared it up, hitting for 21 and 20k-ish, respectively. Good job, Astolfo. I'm almost there on waiver. We're almost there. We're at like bond 9.9. We're gonna get it. It's probably only a couple days out. Bond 10 waiver. Not that we weren't expecting to get bond 10 waiver. He's probably like the most obvious and easiest servant once you get him to level bond. Because you're like, oh, I just bring him to everything already. Like, guy's basically gonna be wasting a slot for bond farming in the future, because I'm sure as hell not taking him out of my farming comps. Like, who else am I putting in there? I guess I could stick a Helena. I could take Helena in the super rare giveaway. That would be interesting. That'd be a thought. I mean, I'm about to hit bond 10 on waiver, so it wouldn't be the worst to swap him out for Helena. But I still want Nero. Like, just Thorilock, one of my favorite servants. Definitely picking her up in the ticket. Who deserves my attention, as she is great. Alright. Wave of 3. I really like how easy it is to, so, like on hands, you can't, sometimes if you don't look at the battle number, you can't really tell what's going on. You're kind of like, is this wave 2 or wave 3 if you look away for a second. But this wave is really easy because it's 2, 3, 2 and one of them has a shit ton of health. And again, we're just gonna use this quick chain to guarantee that we get all the stars we want. Keep doing that. All the stars we could possibly want. Juicy, juicy crit stars. Oh, we actually only have 49. I think we'll be fine. Okay. I'm not super happy with double Astolfos, but we'll live. Also, I noticed, like, I think the third or fourth time I fielded it, this is actually a one-time evade, not a one-turn evade. So, the invulnerable will be the invulnerable will absorb all the shots, and then the evade will be consumed once the invulnerability's gone. Yeah, I think you can safely use Excel turn, and it only has like a 6-turn cooldown. So, at 4, if you could put it to 10 at 4 turns, one-time evade, short cooldown. Like, it doesn't feel too bad to spend something that's a 4-turn cooldown. Interesting. I don't actually know whether Ishtar or Astolfo is better here. We have a decent amount of... Ishtar has way higher crit damage right now. I'm gonna go with her anyway. But I think I'm gonna put Astolfo back here. Waiver hits like... Waver's gonna hit for like 8 or 10k here, so he's not gonna do much. The Buster bonus is not high enough. Yeah. kind of predicted that we'd fail. We need like an Ishtar Quick or an Ishtar Buster to get through the guy in 3 turns. Now, I'm curious if Astolfo can hack it right here, because he's got Ishtar's damage bonus. Worst case scenario, Ishtar finishes him off. She definitely has damage. 27k, yeah. A solid Astolfo. Crit up, crit. Relic. We got it today, boys. Waiver Bond 10. Relic of the King. Servant Bond intensified. Good fucking shit. Of course, it's the piece of Skindar's mantle. What else is important to waiver? This. And basically nothing else. Alright, what do we got? I haven't seen this before. Increase all allies' Buster card effectiveness by 15% only if Zhu Liang caster is equipped with this craft essence when he's on the battlefield. Okay. So apart from having bad stats and not providing us too much in terms of support, it gives us 15% effectiveness for Buster. That's weird. I did not take Waiver / Zhu Liang to be a Buster support as his Bond CE. I've never really looked at it because people don't comment on how good it is. Which usually means it's terrible. That's basically how Bond CEs work. They're either terrible or they're beyond godlike. In this case, Buster card effectiveness? Yeah. Okay. Let's read the comments. Inexperienced, unskilled, and ordinary. There was a time where the boy only knew uncertainty. But there was a king who scolded him, who laughed with him. With loneliness, regret, and a little sense of pride, the boy continues to chase after this king. Fucking good shit, man. Relic of the King. Alright. I mean, I'm surprised how... It looks like it's actually in good condition. I'm surprised how well put together it is. The fur doesn't look horribly matted or out of touch. Or like, aged. Almost looks like something you could wear. If it was whole, obviously. Like, it's torn to shreds everywhere else. Alright. Mission accomplished. Waiver Bond 10. I'm not sure what else we do right now. I guess we'll have to make a decision about whether we want to take Helena instead of Waiver. Instead of Nero, just a farm Bond. The answer is probably no. Like, there's no way you do that. But for now, we're good. I'll just show how many feathers we're at so you guys can remember how many we need and how close we are to what we're looking for. Alright. We went from 9 to 13 with an entire bar of AP. Yeah, it's a few days of farming to get anywhere with feathers, but we're almost there. We only need like another 10-ish more and we'll be out of feather hell. For now. From what I can see. There might be a few more around the corner. But our immediate needs are only about 40. Then we can finally turn our attention to a few more of the more terrifying things like dragon fangs, bones, those kind of things. The lottery later in the year gives us bones, so I'm not as worried about spending bones as I could be, but I kind of like to level servants up either as rewards for doing well, like their skills. I'll be like, oh, you were great, here's another one, as long as it's not like a mandatory skill. Like, you know, you need Nero's battery to be 10 or she's missing out on half her value, so that one goes to 10 right away, and the rest of them it's like, okay, great job Nero, here's a couple skill ups for excellent performance in the last farming run. That's how I kind of decide. I still haven't decided where my grails are going, other than Gilgamesh is getting 5 of them. Okay. Short stream today. We gotta get this coup up. He's gonna get there. It's just a matter of collecting all those feathers. Alright. I'm gonna head out now. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.